When you hear Fairhaven, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it the small town feel, or is it the amount of shops and restaurants there are? For many newer residents and students, most don't know about Fairhaven's influential fishing industry. Today, the fishing industry has very little to no influence on Fairhaven's local economy. The local economy has been more impacted by transportation companies, such as Greyhound buses, Bellingham's cruise terminal, Amtrak train station. It's clear Fairhaven has changed from being once a fishing town. Here we have Whatcom Museum historian Jewell to talk about Fairhaven's history.
So Pacific American Fisheries was the largest salmon canning company in the world at one time. It started in 1899, and its headquarters was in Fairhaven, where they had their cannery and their warehouses, their boatyard. And by the 1930s, they were no longer canning there, but they had a number of Alaska canneries. So by the 1930s, they were no longer canning there, but they had a number of Alaska canneries. And so they brought the pack down to Fairhaven, where they warehoused it, and it was used as a distribution center. They had a boatyard, as I said, so they had a haul out and worked on the boats down to the end of Harris Avenue. And the legacy of the PAF, which actually survived as a corporation until 1965, was celebrated by people like Gordy Twait, who was the Fairhaven pharmacist. This is my little shrine to him and to the PAF. So we had this little PAF saner and a number of examples of the product, the canned salmon that was done in Fairhaven. And this is just a small sampling. You can see all the different brands they had, which were for different markets. So they would market back east, Midwest, up and down the coast. And some of these celebrated their fleet, like this one is of the Catherine D, which was their main ship, named after Catherine Deming, and built in Fairhaven. And then some brands were marketed towards children, so that their parents could get them to eat canned salmon. So we have Humpty Dumpty and Jack Horner. So even though the PAF had come and gone, the old timers, as they are called, always celebrated the PAF, Pacific American Fisheries.
That was a huge employer, biggest employer of women. For example, 1,200 women would work at the Pacific American Fisheries cannery in Fairhaven, packing salmon. They'd have somewhere around 5,000 employees at their height, during the season, including all aspects of the operation.
As the Pacific American Fisheries created an economic boom until their closing in the 1960s, they became the largest fishing cannery in the entire world. From 1905 until 1935, the PAF, or the Pacific American Fisheries, was the largest employer in Bellingham and greatly impacted Whatcom County's economy for the better. On top of this, Bellingham became known as the gateway to Alaska when they opened boat ports in Fairhaven's Bay.
This is a model of the reef net fishing gear that you'll see out on the island now. It was originally a Native American method of fishing, and then they taught the settlers, the white people that came here, how to fish with the same method. That's what made PAF so large, because there were so many fish at the time. And but one of the issues is you have to process all those fish. So sometimes there was more fish than you could process. So there was a lot of waste.
According to the Washington State Department of Health, Bellingham's beaches have been closed for fishing due to biotoxins in the water. Overall, once being the leading and most productive fishing cannery in the entire world, Fairhaven has now gained most of its profits from tourism.